Hello everyone, this is Lisa with Lisa's Coloring Corner. If you're new here, hello and welcome to the channel. And if you're back, welcome back. Speaking of being back, hi! I'm back. I missed you guys so much. Yeah, been a lot going on in this past month because I was recording in December, finally. And then, yeah, a whole bunch of stuff happened, as most of you know. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, I thought today we'd color out of a Jade Summer book. I have not colored out of one of their books in a long time, but I thought we'd still do a color by number. Something easier for today. And you know, I've been into color by number so much anyhow. So I picked out this page and picked out from my little handy dandy little binder. Today I thought we'd color with the Taotree markers. Again, I have not used these in a while, and they have the nice small tips. So I thought it would work great in this particular book. So I have those in here. And I only put one per loop. If you put more than one, they're in there kind of snug. So this is how I keep these. So I have so much on my desk right now because after this video, I want to do my end of the month videos. Yeah, my coloring book and supplies haul. It's going to be a very long one. And then after that, I have a couple swatching videos to do. So fingers crossed, I'm going to get all 5 of those done today. And then I do want to record yet this week a bunch of flip throughs and supplies that were sent to me. Well, some diamond paintings that were sent to me to show on the channel. So I'm going to try to at least get caught up with things that were sent to me for a review. And then after that, yeah, I want to get, I can't say caught up because I probably have 20-25 videos to do. But I'm hoping each week I can get a little bit more of my stuff recorded for things that I bought and I want to show you. All right, enough of that. Let's get a piece of cardstock behind here. And we are going to start. All right, so what number shall we start with? I guess let's start in the middle, which is number 3, medium yellow, number 37. Now it's going to be kind of awkward having these up here. I apologize with my arm getting in the way, but like I said, I have so many books and supplies to the right of me. My iPad and miscellaneous things are to the left of me, so I only have this spot in the middle for recording right now. So yeah, I'm probably going to be reaching across to get markers, so I do apologize. So 37. Okay. All right, let's get at it. Okay, I'll zoom you guys in. It has been a while since I got to talk to you guys. I have missed you all so much. Our talking, I've still been reading your comments. I have not gotten around to answering or hearting any comments. I've been reading them. I just haven't gotten around to replying or hearting them to let you know that I've seen them. I so apologize. It's just kind of been hectic around here. And when I did have a little bit of downtime, I just wanted the downtime. And I mostly spent it all diamond painting. I just still have really been in a diamond painting mood. And I think I talked about that in December when I was recording. That I, even back then, was in a diamond painting mood. I did get some coloring done too. And you'll see that when I record my other videos of what I got colored in the last 6 months. 6 months I've been gone. Well, other than December. My eye surgery on my left eye, where I had that, again, what I called my big white blob. It was a huge white floater. Has gone very, very well. I no longer have a big white floater in that eye. I am so happy. It is just awesome. Looking down, and especially, you know, it bothered me so much when I was diamond painting, because it would float up to the middle of my eye and I couldn't see every time I looked down and then up. Well, you know, for diamond painting, you look down at your tray, up at the canvas, down at your tray, up at your canvas. And so, yeah, oh, that was just horrible. But it's all better. I have to go in for one final checkup, and they really want that done, like, I think it was the last one is supposed to be done a month later. I had to cancel it because it conflicted with one of Bob's appointments that I wanted to be at. And so I don't know if the gal that made appointments was just having a bad day or what, but she didn't seem real happy about it. Because she said, well, he wants it done as soon as possible, because they have to get these checkups, these rechecks, done in a certain amount of time just to make sure nothing's going wrong. So I have that appointment coming up. And then I'm hoping I can get my final prescription so that I can get a good pair of reading glasses. My other prescription reading glasses no longer worked for me. I couldn't even read my phone. So I don't know if they were too strong or too weak or what. I'm suspecting they're too weak now because my distance vision has improved dramatically. So I'm thinking my close-up vision is now worse, because when my close-up vision was getting so clear and I didn't know what the heck was going on, but I thought I ain't gonna complain, but I could tell my distance vision was getting worse and worse. Yeah. So, yeah, I really didn't know what the heck was going on. So now I don't know if because my distance vision is so good and so clear, if my close-up vision has gotten that much worse. So right now I am wearing a pair of readers from Walmart. I just quick cut just to have something to wear. Number 32. 32. So yeah, I definitely want to get some good reading glasses. Okay, number 5. So yeah, I guess that's my next step, is getting that, and then hopefully I'll be done with that, other than my yearly recheck, and hopefully my eyes won't change for a while. That would suck if it changed already next year. Ugh. It's hell getting old, ain't it? Just hell. I always say, at 40, we should get a new body. You know, for those achy backs and creaky knees and hips and eyes and everything else that gets old. All our aches and pains. Heaven knows there's enough of them. I'm pretty lucky though. My main problem is my lower back, and it's because I have degenerative disc disease. But yet, it isn't that bad. You know, it doesn't hurt me too bad most of the time. But I don't, knock on wood, I don't have knee problems. I don't have hip problems other than having bursitis in my left hip. But even that, again, knock on wood, has not been bothering me much at all lately. So yeah, I figure, you know, I turned 60 last year. Did I just say 60? I can't believe it. So I figure I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty lucky. I know many, many, many people are very much worse off than I am. So I do have my health. I guess a person has that to be thankful for, right? I know many of you suffer terribly from physical ailments and, you know, psychological ailments. I do have some of those. I do have depression and anxiety. However, mine is pretty controlled with a number of medications, which took years, and I mean years, to figure out the right cocktail of meds and the right amounts that worked for me. Because, you know, everybody's different. What works for one person does not work for another, as I'm sure most of you are aware. Let's do number 2, light yellow, 38. Again, I am so sorry for getting my head, my arms, my everything in the way. Yeah, can you see? Rockin' for Valentine's Day. Whoops, get you in there. Yeah. Isn't that cute? I just had these redone. So the next set of nails will have to be green, right? And then pastel. Oh, pathetic, right? I'm probably next time going to have the acrylic nails themselves replaced, because these have, you know, the acrylic nail that was put on eventually grows out. So I only have a little bit of the acrylic nail left. So yeah, I'm thinking I'll have to have a full set put on next time. But this has been from my daughter Heather's wedding last August. So it's been almost 6 months since I've had these put on. I figure that's pretty darn good. If I only have to have the acrylic nails themselves put on twice a year, it's pretty darn good. So, but yeah, I'm hoping, you know, these Valentine ones won't, you know, outgrow or grow out too far. That's why I like having the background clear. You can't tell as much when they do grow out. So a lot of the patterns, the designs that I pick out have like a clear background. Not always, but many times I do. Because, yeah, you can wear them a little bit longer without having to go and have them redone. And yes, I have become addicted to having my nails done now. I always used to wear the nail wraps from Lily and Fox, and I've talked about it in the past. My favorite nail wraps. I've tried Color Street. They're so darn expensive, says I when I'm talking about having my nails done. But just for nail wraps, I think they're quite expensive. They may be very well worth it. However, they just didn't fit my nail size. I have kind of small nails. And yes, I know you can trim them down to fit. However, I found that to be a big pain in the butt. And Lily and Fox fit my nails so good. So, now I don't think they're actual real polish like Color Street is. For their price, I doubt very much that they are, because they're only $2.99 a pair with free shipping. So yeah, I doubt they are, and that's why, yeah, Color Street is much higher quality. But yeah, okay, 13, light green, 59. 59, 59, 59, 99. Here we go. So that's how I am doing. I do want to find out how you guys are doing. What have you all been up to? How was your New Year's? God, seems like New Year's was months ago now, doesn't it? Christmas was just not even a month and a half ago. I can't believe that. And yet, the rest of the year is going to go by so fast. It always does, especially summer. I swear, the couple months of summer that we do get around here is only 1 month long. Because, yeah, just goes by way, way, way too fast. And then we get fall. And I can't even enjoy fall because I know what's coming next. So yeah, I do not like fall. Spring, I like because it starts sprouting the green, and I get so excited when I start seeing the leaves start to, the buds are opening and the leaves are emerging, so the trees are getting green. The lawn, you can see little spears of grass starting to peer through. Oh, it's heavenly. But then, of course, my favorite season is Summer. Summer, summer, summer. Oh yeah, we got 13s in here. And I'm sure you're all aware of that. I've talked about it many times. I don't belong in Wisconsin. I don't know why I'm here. In my next life, I better live down south or somewhere where it's warm. Yeah. Although I've been hearing about the horrendous ice storms south of us. And, even in Texas, and I'm like, oh my God. They would show it on the news, and cars are just sliding off the roads. Oh my gosh. Dark green, is that what, 14 and 15? Medium and dark, 56 and 51. There's 51. So 56 must be before that. There we go. So, yeah, I guess you can get bad weather anywhere. It's just such a crazy time. How they got snow and stuff down south. Now they're getting ice storms. Kind of like we had a few months ago. Yeah, ice storms. Snow's bad enough, but there is nothing as bad as ice. Especially when it's what we call black ice. I don't know if you've ever heard that term. But black ice is ice on the highways that you can't really see. And so you're just buzzing along, and all of a sudden you hit this patch of black ice, and you lose control. Yeah, I think black ice is the absolute worst. But then comes regular ice, because we had that ice storm, and yeah, all the trees are creaking under the weight of the ice. Bunch of electricity was down because it just coated all the wires, all the highline wires. So gave our electrical company some very busy days. We're lucky. Ours was only down it's down from I think, what was it, 5 in the morning till maybe noon? Something like that. Wasn't real long, wasn't even a day, because some people, and yet it was cold out too. I mean, not horribly cold, because otherwise we wouldn't have had freezing rain. But cold enough out when your freezer, oh my heavens, when your furnace isn't kicking in, freezer would be the opposite, wouldn't it? So we tried not opening our fridge and freezer as much as possible. Isn't it amazing though, when you don't have electricity, what you all use? That is electric. I would be automatically going to go do something. And I'm like, oh, I can't do that. That's right. Oh, yeah, I can't do that. That's right. Oh, what the heck can I do? Besides read a book. But at night, it's real hard to do that, too. You do it by flashlight, I suppose. But, oh yeah, there's 13 again. Ooh, this is pretty so far. So one thing I like about Jade Summer's color by number is they make really pretty color palettes. Whereas some of the other color by number books, have just real sporadic bunch of colors, and there's no really any design or pattern to them, and I don't know if others have noticed that. And they are still pretty, don't get me wrong, but I like when there's an actual limited color palette like this, because I'm assuming, yeah, we're going to be using the same colors as we branch out. And to me, it's more cohesive that way. So that's why I like this. I think I did like this one. Isn't that pretty? Loved doing that one. And I think there's one other one that I did in here. Maybe not. Maybe it's a different book I'm thinking of. But yeah, I have to color more in here. Because you know me and patterns. Can't believe I don't have this book done yet, right? Yes. So I may keep this book out. And these Taotrees work so good in this book. Anything that's a little bit more intricate. Now either the Taotrees, or I also have the shuttle arts, which look exactly like these, except for they also have a skin tone set. So there's actually more in that set than the Taotrees if you buy both the regular set and the skin tone set. So I do like that set also. But yeah, I haven't colored with these in quite a while either. What was the number was that? That's 15. So yeah, I'm glad I thought of using these today. Because I was going through in my handy dandy little color by number book, my little mini blinder. Oh, I cannot talk today. Binder, just to see what supplies I had matched up in colors for the Jade Summer books. And I did have the Copics and my Artex Oros. What else did I have? Cali Art Brush. And then I seen Taotree, and I'm like, oh, Taotree would work really good in here. So, yeah. All right, let's get on to the subject of Bob. If you're new here, Bob is my boyfriend. It will be 18 years this year. 18. Do you think we'll ever get married? Nope. That's fine with me. We're doing good just like this. Don't need to get married. Yeah, okay, January was a busy month. He had his surgery scheduled to fix the fistula, which is essentially a hole going from his esophagus to his right lung. Now, his esophagus is kind of a man-made esophagus from his stomach. Because, again, if you're new here, he had esophageal cancer. And that was 4 years ago. Oh my gosh. 4 years ago. Well, actually 5. His surgery will have been 4 years in August. Anyhow, that doesn't matter. So he had to have his esophagus removed. This is after chemo and radiation, yada, yada, yada. And he has been having problems ever since. Oh my God, but this man does not give up. God bless him. So he goes into surgery. This was down in Madison, which is like almost a 3-hour drive for us. Long drive. They do the surgery. Surgery was a major surgery. I guess there's a main artery that goes either through or by the stomach, he said, that they have to be really careful about. So it was kind of touchy. And went much, much faster than what they thought it was going to. It was supposed to take 5-6 hours, and it took under 4. So it must have went pretty good. When I talked to the surgeon, and I did that, why did I do that? I'm just going to leave it like that. I am. Lisa. When I talked to the surgeon, he said everything went really, really well. And get this, they actually had a room for him right away. That's unheard of. My God, last time after his initial surgery, I don't know how long it was. It was a couple hours. He was in recovery because they didn't have a room for him. And so I didn't know that. I was sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally, they called me and told me what was going on. Oh my God, I was sitting there so long, not knowing what was going on. I was getting more and more worried, as you can imagine. But yeah, this time, much, much shorter. And yeah, he said it went really, really well. They did have to remove just a tiny bit of his right lung when they did it. So then the next morning, and I'm just going to leave this like that. We'll make do. The next morning, he had to do another swallow test. This man has done so many swallow tests. Just a minute. I gotta turn my heater down. Sorry. Whew. That heater really works because normally it is so cold in here. Bob had gotten me that for Christmas. Oh, it feels so heavenly. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the next morning he had to have a swallow test. And what that does is they have him drink some barium, and this time, sorry if that, let me know in the comments below if you hear that heater and if it's very disturbing, because then I'll turn it on before I start recording and it'll warm up in here and I won't have to have it running while I'm recording. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if that heater running is annoying. I don't want to talk above the heater if it's bothersome. So yeah, he did the swallow test the next morning, so Friday morning, and it was not good news. Not good news. Because something was still leaking. Come to find out, there were actually 2 fistulas, 2 holes. So it's no wonder Bob was having such a hard time. This poor man. You know, he had given up drinking. That didn't come out right. He actually has given up drinking eons ago. many, many years ago. But he couldn't, drink down any fluids without coughing. And then eventually it got to he couldn't even eat food, eat solids without coughing like crazy. So then he gave up on food too when he was just on his feedings. So yeah, found another fistula, another hole. And his surgeon, now this is 13, right? Yeah. His surgeon suggested Friday morning, the day after his first surgery, to get it done immediately that day because scar tissue, I guess. Oh, and I'm off camera. Told you I can't talk today. Scar tissue starts forming, I guess, immediately. And that would just make the surgery that much harder every single day that they put this off. And so Bob said, yes, go ahead, because then they can go in through the same incision, which you should see that incision. Oh my God. It's all the way across the front of his chest, goes around the side and comes all the way up his back. Oh, looks horrendous. Anyhow, so they did the same surgery again the next day. And that too, that surgery went very well. Of course, he was in the hospital for a while down there, and I took a couple trips down to visit. He, of course, told me don't drive all that way, just to come visit for a couple hours. And then I said, yes, I am. I didn't want him just staying down there and laying there and with nobody coming to visit him. So he eventually got a little bit stronger, and he was sitting up in his chair, eventually going for walks. And yeah, getting stronger and stronger. Light green was 59, yeah. So that's 13. Why? Oh, I have this all messed up. I know. And you guys were watching me doing it. You didn't tell me. Oh, I blame you. I do. This is light green, which is 13. Look at the 13s. Oh well. Oh well. Looks fine to me. I get sidetracked all the time. I haven't done this in so long, My videos are probably going to be all over the place for a while. Anyhow, they did that second surgery. And yes, he was doing pretty good. And they were talking about when he was going to be able to come home. And it was going to be probably on that Thursday. Now, however, we were expecting a big snowstorm on Thursday. Lisa is not used to driving in winter weather. When I worked, when I was a paralegal, and you drive every day, it doesn't faze you near as much as it does now. Now I'm paranoid of driving in the snow. 15 is light yellow. Is it really that light? Oh yeah, I guess it is. Good job, Lisa. Good job. So when they said Thursday, Bob's like, We're supposed to get a lot of snow up by us, you know, not down by Madison, not them down there, but because that's in southern Wisconsin. We're up in mid-Wisconsin. And so Bob says, how about Friday? And they said, yep, that would be fine. No, 15 minutes later, and this is on Wednesday. No, 15 minutes later, I got a call from the nurse. And she said, how about Bob going home today? And I'm like, really? And she said, yeah. I'm like, that is fantastic. So I hopped in the shower, got myself ready, got out the door, and drove down to Madison and got him. However, you know, he was feeling okay on the way back. He called a bunch of people, kind of let them know that, you know, he was home now. You know, so while being totally sore, of course, it wasn't too bad. However, as the day and then into, as the night passed, and then overnight, he was feeling worse and worse and worse. And by 10 o'clock the next morning, because I kept telling him, I says, I think Madison released you too early. I think, you know, because of the storm coming, they thought it would be a good idea, you know, to maybe get him out before that storm hit. Yeah, because I ended up having to call 911 and have the ambulance come get him. He felt so crappy because for him to tell me to call 911, I knew it wasn't good. So he goes into the hospital, and they found out that he had pneumonia again and a partially collapsed lung. Yeah, and he was so run down. You know, he couldn't go for a walk anymore because he just didn't have the strength. His white blood cell count was going up, which, of course, means infection. So they had him on a antibiotic. And they did something that Madison didn't, which I wish Madison would have, and that's they kept him on the antibiotic for a while. They kept him on the antibiotic until this past, when is it we went down? Monday, for his checkup. And they kept him on the antibiotic until then. Now, why Madison didn't keep him on an antibiotic? I mean, he just got over pneumonia. You would think, with everything else that's going on, that they would want to make sure that that's good and gone. So, I don't know. Like I said, I think they let him out too early. I think they should have kept an eye on him for a little bit yet. That's my professional opinion. I know what's going on. But, yeah, that's what I think. So, I go and pick him up from our hospital up here. And he is looking and sounding so much better. Oh, my gosh. And then, yeah, we had to drive down to Madison on Monday for his recheck. And he is doing so good. He has his feeding tube yet. Edith. I think I talked about this in my last coloring chat. I named the pole that his, yeah, I did. That his feeding tube, the bags that hang up on the top, that his formula gets put in. Named her Edith. And that's his dancing partner. And I was telling Bob how much she missed him while he was gone. So he still has Edith. He'll have Edith for a while yet. But the thing that bothered him the most was that chest drainage tube. Oh, that thing hurt him so bad in his back, because the tube followed that incision all the way up his back. So he couldn't lay on his back. He couldn't, sit in a chair without, being, trying to get comfortable with pillows. I bought so many pillows for this man just so we could prop him up on the left side a little bit, and then under his forearm kind of on the right side, so that he wouldn't put pressure on the right side of his back, and then going and helping him get comfy in bed when he went to bed. So I've been sleeping in my recliner downstairs for, in case he needs anything during the night. But that's why I figured I could quick record some videos this afternoon. He's doing better and he's resting right now. So I did tell him if he needs anything whatsoever to call me on the house phone. So if this phone rings in here, it is most likely him. I don't anticipate him calling though. So yeah, that is the latest on Bob. Best thing ever is getting that chest tube out. Now it hurts more in the front, whereas before it didn't hurt that bad in the front. And I said, yeah, that's because they had to stitch that hole closed now. It was really crazy what he had to do when the doctor pulled that chest tube out, because it's actually pulling it out of your lung. What Bob had to do, the whole while the doctor was pulling this chest tube out, Bob had to put his finger in his mouth and blow on the finger as hard as he could. And the doctor said 20 seconds. No, it was longer than 20 seconds. So Bob was puffing on his finger, but then he'd have to quick take a breath and, which I definitely would have had to, because not only was it as he pulled the chest tube out, but then there were sutures around the end of what came out of the hole going into his lung, and it was all sutured in so that those holes wouldn't come out. So what he did was take those sutures, keep those around by the hole, and then he used those sutures to make knots. As soon as the hose was out, made a bunch of knots. So Bob was still having to blow on his finger the entire time. And when I say blow on his finger, I don't mean just going I mean having to put your mouth on your finger and blow with pressure. And something about keeping the lung inflated while he takes that tube out. It was really crazy. And somebody in the hospital had told Bob that that's going to hurt like hell. And I said, why would he say that to you? And Bob said, it didn't really hurt at all. It just felt kind of funny. I said, a nurse or whomever Should never say that. You know, if anything, you should say, you know, it might be a little uncomfortable, or, but you wouldn't say it's going to hurt like hell. God, talk about making somebody nervous. I'd be nervous if somebody told me that something's going to hurt like hell. Anyhow, so that is the update on Bob. Now the only thing that has to happen is he has to build up his stamina because he's still pretty weak, and he gets out of breath really easy. He no longer has to use the walker, however, and he has to start eating more. He only can eat a little bit at a time because his stomach has shrunk down. So once he is able to start eating more is when he'll be able to get that feeding tube out. He has a nutritionist calling tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So we'll see what she says. I don't know if she's the one that's going to keep track of what he's all eating, and she'll be the one to decide when he can have that feeding tube out. But we shall see what she says tomorrow. And yeah, thank heavens it is just a Zoom call, or probably not using Zoom, but it's a video call. So don't have to go anywhere. And then the final visit that Bob has to have with Madison, with McCarthy, just as a follow-up to see how he's doing. I think that's set up for a month from now. Will be also a video appointment online. So don't have to travel all the way down to Madison just for a quick visit to see how he's doing and feeling, and then we can drive all the way back home. So, yeah, things are going great. Again, I gotta knock on wood, because, boy, I don't want him to, go backwards again. Oh, this poor man has been through enough. He has been through way more than enough. I've been sticking with this color quite a while, haven't I? I know all you guys are doing your own thing. At least I know that's what I do. I just, sit and color, sit and diamond paint while I listen to Color and Chats, Whippin' Chats, which is what they call their diamond painting and chats. Yeah, I love listening to those as I, like I said, color or diamond paint. We have, let's do the threes first, and that was the medium yellow 37. Now it's starting to get dark out, but I've been yakking for almost an hour. Say what? What else has been going on? I know I talked to you guys in December, but boy, that seems like a long, long time ago. And then it was only for a month until all this stuff came up. It's been a hectic, 6 months? Yeah, between all my eye surgeries and then Bob. Oh, things are looking up. They is. So, positive thinking, it's only going to go up from here. So yeah, I want to know what you guys have been up to. Have you been coloring, diamond painting? I don't know how many of you are now diamond painting, but boy, I'm hearing of more and more colorists who have decided to try it out and ended up loving it as much as I do. I got a lot of diamond painting done in these past however many months. And you'll see that in my what I colored and diamond painted in the past 6 months video. Oh my heavens. And that one won't be quite as long as my coloring book and supplies haul. Ooh, that's going to be a doozer. That's going to be a long video. I have 2 big stacks of books here to the right of me. And then on the, because my desk is L-shaped, and this is the big part, the wide part. The other part of the L is about 3/4 filled of supplies. A lot of them, I didn't buy them. A lot of them were sent to me for review and showing you guys. Some of them I did buy, of course. I don't have everything sent to me. No. Lisa buys, you know that. Lisa buys way too much. Do want to start cutting back on that. I'm gonna have to make out my taxes pretty soon, and that's the one bad thing about having a YouTube channel and getting revenue with ads, you know, from those of you who watch the ads, or if you have, what is it called? Not Prime, that's Amazon. You pay for YouTube so you don't see the ads. What's that called? But we get a little bit of payment for that too if you come into a video and you have that. But to everybody else who watches the ads, which gives us a little bit of income, well, of course, when we receive that payment at the end of the month, there's no tax taken off of it. No. And I'm coloring over that. Just wondering why it was looking so funny. Being an Amazon affiliate for, you know, anything you guys purchase through my links, which, by the way, I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching these videos and for purchasing through those links. And the Amazon payments every month also do not have taxes taken out. So, what does that mean when you have to fill out your taxes? Yeah, I gotta pay taxes on it then. So, I'll have to save up some money these next few months so that I can pay my taxes. I think I'm going to figure them out first, then it'll kind of give me an idea of how much I owe. Hopefully not too much. When I figured my taxes out last year, I figured out itemized and regular deduction. I was better off going with the regular deduction. I'm like, all right, that's great for me because, boy, doing itemized deductions is a pain in the butt. You have to keep track of everything, have receipts, you know, just on the slim chance you're audited. And of course, if you don't keep track of that all, of course you're going to be audited. I mean, never a doubt. Light green. All right. Now, I had talked about quite a while ago, was it November maybe? Could have even been before then. I don't know. Now, this is light green, right? Let's get it right this time. I had talked about wanting to do some giveaways, and I think I originally said in January because I had hit my 12,500 subscribers. Now, I originally, I had done a giveaway for when I hit 10,000 subscribers. So I was going to do a giveaway at 15,000 subscribers. But my subscriber count, of course, is slowing down a tad. And it would just take me forever to get to 15,000 subscribers. So I decided to do some giveaways at 12,500. And yeah, I was planning on doing that in January. Well, January has now come and gone. And it's February 1st. Oh my goodness. So obviously we're not doing the giveaways in January. And I doubt they will be in February. There's still just so much going on. There's so many videos I have to catch up on, not to mention the cost of the giveaways. Some of them are physical things. That will be for United States only, but I do want to do a couple of things for my international subscribers also, because I feel that's only fair. You helped make this channel what it is too. So yeah, I gotta see how many funds I'm going to have. So I am thinking, I'm hoping March. And what I wanted to do is, and I don't know if this is going to be a possibility anymore, but I wanted to do a giveaway in each color and chat that month. Now, I do a color and chat every week, so that means there would be 4 giveaways. So when I would do the first color and chat and announce the giveaway, the following weekend, I would announce the winner of that giveaway and then talk about the new giveaway. Does that make sense? So I'll keep you updated on that. See where we are going forth. You know what I discovered a couple days ago? I don't even know my own YouTube channel. I said that as of January 1st, I was celebrating my 5-year anniversary on YouTube. No. I've been on YouTube 4 years, not 5 years. Oh my God. I'm like, where did I get 5 years from? Oy vey. So yeah, it's not my 5-year anniversary, but I won't make you wait till next January because I already talked about it. And I haven't done a nice giveaway for a while, so I do know a few of the things I am giving away. A few coloring things, a diamond painting thing, a very nice diamond painting thing. And like I said, the physical things, unfortunately, I cannot send overseas, and I know you guys will understand that. The shipping would cost more than the item itself, which is so unfortunate. Darn it. I would love to include my international subscribers, but we will figure out something for you guys too. So yeah, we shall do that hopefully next month. I'll keep you posted on it. I had kitted up a diamond painting last night because I'm almost done with the one I'm working on. It's a really pretty colorful dragon. Oh, it's so cute. So yeah, I'm almost done with that. So that'll be in my, what I colored and diamond painted in February. And so I kitted up the next one. And the next one is an adorable, the draglings that Randall Spangler has. And it's for Valentine's Day. It is so adorable. So it's like, yeah, that's a given. I gotta kit that one up. So I only have 2 sections to go on this rainbow dragon. And then I can start the Valentine one. But I know I won't get it done by Valentine's Day, and that's okay. It's not a huge one, but it's big enough where I know I wouldn't get it done in a couple weeks. Unless I really would work hard on it. And right now, I have to work hard on getting videos up. I don't, however, want to try to get in this room and record every waking moment and burn myself out. Because I think before even my problems with my eyes, I think I was starting to get a little bit of burnout. And it was getting harder and harder to get in here and start recording. Once I was recording, though, I was fine. Like today, I'm like, what am I all going to talk about? And now I've been jabbering for over an hour. Yeah. I do, another thing I have to get caught up on. And I apologize profusely. All the comments on my YouTube videos. I have to catch up on them. I have to. It's just a matter of sitting down, taking time, and when you're this far behind on your comments, it does take a while. If it's just something that's a comment that I can just heart, so that I've seen it, that doesn't take long. However, when there are questions, which is fine, I always say, if there's any questions, comments, or concerns, so definitely, continue to leave me questions if you're wondering about something. But those, of course, those comments would take a little bit longer, depending on what the question is, than just hearting something. So, but yeah, it'll probably take me, a good hour or two to get through comments, and I just have to take the time to do it. Yes, sirree. That is, of course, after I get all these videos recorded and uploaded. Because now I no longer, I used to have my iPad connected to my iPad connected to my laptop. so that I could access my laptop via my iPad, if that makes any sense. It's through an app, and you have to have Windows Pro, and then have remote access turned on. Did I do it again? I did it again. Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to have 2 greens in a row. Told you, I'm a hot mess today. What was I talking about now? I don't even remember. I know, you're yelling at me, but I can't hear you. Oh, yeah. I'm going to take a sip quick. Ah, that tasted good. Yeah, I could have my iPad connected to my laptop. My laptop is a big 17-inch laptop, and it was just a pain in the butt to get out all the time. So my iPad is always on the end table next to me, and it just works out so great to be able to go onto my iPad and access everything on my laptop. Really, really nice. I have the largest size screen iPad. I think it's, 12.9 or whatever, iPad Pro. And you probably didn't see any of that, did you? And so, it's not too bad. You don't have, of course, as big a screen as you have on the laptop screen, especially when you have a 17-incher. Light green, 13. No, 3. Medium yellow. But the iPad screen is plenty big. However, something happened, and I no longer can connect. I had this problem once before, but I eventually got it figured out. And it should be something very easy. I'm thinking it's something to do with my Norton firewall and antivirus software that I purchased and installed. Now, I've had that on there for a long, long time though, and didn't have a problem. So, but I'm thinking there's some permissions or something that is not allowing my iPad to access my laptop. Spent a couple days Googling this and Googling that, and got more and more frustrated. A few choice words under my breath. All Bella has to do is hear me say one swear word, and she's zoom, goes and hides. I'm like, good heavens, dog. Or she'll go by Bob and save me, Daddy, save me. So tonight I'm going to have to go on the actual laptop, and tomorrow go on the actual laptop and do everything. I know, poor me. Poor me. World's smallest violin. Woohoo. So, yeah. Hopefully, sometime next week, I'll have some time to be able to call Norton and see if that's the side where the problem is. I don't know. I don't know, but it's very, very frustrating. I must have tried 50 different things and nothing worked. It is frustrating, I tell you. Darn computers, they sure are nice when they work. Sure are frustrating when they don't. And Bob said, I don't know how you do that. He goes, all that mumbo jumbo. Goes, I don't understand none of that. I says, well, it helps when you have a computer programming degree. I mean, I'm lucky I modernized that man so much because he never had a checking account. Only a savings account. And so I had him get a checking account and start using, checks. At that time, you kind of paid with check yet through the mail. Remember, we've been together a long time. And so, yeah, he now has a checking account and a debit card and a credit card through his banking institution. He hardly ever uses it. And I said, Bob, you should use it and then pay it off right away, because that's what keeps your credit score up. But, yeah, he doesn't like to do that. And he doesn't like to use his debit card on everything. He is just so used to paying everything with cash. Whereas most people use their debit or credit card for absolutely everything. You go to Starbucks, you use your card. You go to McDonald's, you use your card. You go anywhere, it could be $1.99 and you use your card. I don't do that. I'm not to that point, but like everything online is, yes, debit or credit card. And I know they say you shouldn't use your debit card online, that you're more protected using a credit card. I'm sorry for the shadows here because I didn't turn my lights on up here, so I only have my overhead light behind me on. So as the sun is going down, it's getting a little more shadowy. But we should almost be done here anyhow. Oh, one other thing that I've been doing is I'm starting a planner. Now, not just a paper planner. I am doing an electronic planner. There's so much more that you can do with an electronic planner versus one on paper. I do like physically writing stuff. So normally I am much more apt to do something written on paper than electronically. However, the versatility, I guess, of the electronic planner over the paper planner, being able to erase things, being able to put in, there's thousands of stickers you can put in. Not that I'm going to do a lot of that. I don't have time to decorate mine. I know a lot of people really get into the decorating because it's a hobby for them. They put washi tape in and, they do all that stuff. Well, I don't plan on doing that, even though I have a gazillion stickers now that came with electronic stickers. But I do want to use it for, like, to do things and videos I want to do. Maybe I want to make out a list of things I want to talk about in a color and jet. The only thing about that is I have to look into and see if I can print that page. The only way I thought about it is if I took a screenshot of it and then maybe printed the screenshot. I don't know. That was one thing I was going to look into. So, yeah, I am really, where did I put that? Well, it's part of my supplies. My supplies, all. That's in amongst the mess on my desk. Speaking of a mess, oh my God, this room. Oh, Really needs to be cleaned up majorly. Because of the fact I haven't done any end of the month videos and what I colored videos in so long. There are books everywhere and supplies everywhere that I couldn't put away, you know. So maybe with getting a number of videos done now, that I'll be able to start cleaning up this disaster of a room. My diamond painting room isn't too bad, but it needs some cleaning too, and I have to get at starting to put my spare drills away. I don't know how many cases full of spare drills I have from projects that I've completed. Quite a number of them. It takes a while to do those. So I would really love just to take everything downstairs and just do it, you know, from the couch and do it on the coffee table. Can't use the coffee table anyhow. That whole coffee table. The whole thing. With the exception of maybe one little corner. The whole thing is filled with gauze pads. And gauze pads with a split in it so that Bob can put it around his feeding tube. You can just slide it on there. And 2 or 3 different types of tapes. And some lotion because his heels are really cracked. And 2 tubes of this other salve thing because he has a problem with, sounds funny, but his belly button getting sore. And I think it's just because it's in the crease. So, yeah, he had a tube and they sent him another one. And what else does he have? I mean, we have like, is it 2 or 3 boxes each of those gauze pads. I don't know how many rolls of tape. What else was in there? Oh my God. It was unreal. UPS had come and dropped something off. And of course Bella was going crazy. Cray. And so I went out and just, you know, to get it and see what it was. And it said fragile on it. And I'm like, what the heck? I know I didn't order anything that was fragile. And so I opened it up. And I said, oh my heavens, Bob. They sent a lot of supplies. And so I kept taking stuff out of this box because it was a nice size box. I kept taking it out and taking it out and taking it out. And I keep going, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, holy Hannah. And Bob goes, it must be pretty bad. I go, you would not believe what was all in this box. Oh. I don't even know what we're going to do with all this. I mean, it definitely pays to keep it. You never know when you're going to need gauze, because they're made into squares already. So, you know, it's not like a gauze on a strip or on a roll. But... oh my gosh, there's just... So I said after he's done eating it all, I'm just going to pack it up in a paper bag and I'm going to put it in the closet out in the breezeway in case we would ever need it for anything. Anybody need some gauze pads? I can send you some. Yeah. The majority of them are just going to take up room here. I don't think we would use them up in our lifetime. Like I said, I don't know how many boxes are there. So yeah, when I kitted up that diamond painting, that Valentine one, I couldn't use the coffee table like I always do. So I used this one little craft table I have out there. Boy, that was not easy. Took me a long time to get that kitted up. Oy, oy, oy. But I eventually got it. Right now, I guess it's more important that Bob has his stuff out there. So now I have to find a spot to put all them pillows. Bought one big square one, 2 regular size pillows, and then I was just going to get one body pillow, and Bob says, well, why didn't you just get 2? And I thought, 2 body pillows? Okay. So I got 2 body pillows, and he only used 1. Yeah, so now we have 2 body pillows, big long ones. I think I'm going to have to put those up in my I have cubby attics up in my bedroom. You know, they're attics that only have doors half the height of the wall that are in the eaves of the house. And so I thought, well, maybe I could stick them in there. Then if we ever need them, I can go in there and get them out. That's where I have all my spare sheets and blankets and stuff anyhow. So I said that would be a good spot for them. So yeah, while Bob was gone, of course we had to have snow. And when we got back home, we had more snow. So Lisa had to go out and shovel. I had muscles hurting in my back the next day. I didn't even know I had those muscles. Yeah, I swear they were new muscles. Oh, my heavens. Yeah. But I actually did better than I thought. Because I thought last time I shoveled, my arms gave out. I think that's raking up leaves. I think I have a problem with, I know, maybe not now, I don't know. But, yeah, the shoveling actually didn't go too bad. So, and we are in a cold spell again. We are supposed to finally start warming up. I mean, 2 nights ago we had 35 below zero wind chill factor. Night before, I think it was 25 below. And that's when we had to go to Madison, of course. Of course. 5. That was that yellow orange. 32, yes. So, yeah, we had to go in the freezing temperature. So I went out and started up the car like 15 minutes before we were going to leave and got it nice and warm. And then I helped Bob out to the car. Definitely helped him back into the house when we got back. But yeah, and now, like I said, after that cold spell, oh gosh, when was that? Oh, Christmas time. Oh my heavens, that was so cold. We were way below zero. We didn't get above zero on Christmas Day at all. I thought, oh my gosh, all these people having to drag their little babies out in this cold, cold weather. Yeah, it was miserable at Christmas time. And then it warmed up nice. Now we got this flipping cold spell again, but it is supposed to warm up again later this week. Bob says, it's no wonder people are sick. I says, he said something about, I don't know why the weather can't just stay the same. I said, you wouldn't want it to stay the same. What if you got rain all the time? What if, God forbid for him, you got 90s all the time? Lisa would enjoy it, but Bob would hate it. You know? What if you never got rain? So, no, you can't have the same weather. Well, he said, just not such big fluctuations. And I said, that's Mother Nature. I said, especially in spring and fall. That's when she has PMS and doesn't know what she wants. Because, yeah. Weather in Wisconsin in spring and fall is just absolutely crazy. You could be in the 70s or 80s one day and be 30 degrees cooler the next. Just crazy. All right. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, when I drove home Wednesday after Bob had his surgery, because I wasn't able to stay down in Madison after he had his surgery because of Bella. I just wasn't able to. What was number 3? Medium yellow. So, wait a minute. Medium yellow, 37, yes. Oh, the light yellow rolled over. So, yeah, I was driving back then, and unfortunately it had gotten dark. Now, Lisa doesn't like to drive in the dark. I can't see where I'm going, and if I'm unfamiliar with where I'm driving, I don't like that. It's fine where there's street lights, so it was okay in Madison. But once you got out on the highway, if, I had to make any exits, which I did, and I missed, that's when I don't like driving at night. And I was so sick. It was the longest, almost 3-hour trip of my life. I had such a migraine. Oh, how I made it home, I don't know. I was so nauseous, so sick to my stomach. It hurt my head so bad when I would have headlights behind me because a car would come up behind me, or I would pass some pokey Annie, and so then their headlights were in my rearview mirror. Or if I ducked down a little bit so it wouldn't be in my rearview mirror, it was still in the driver's side mirror or passenger side mirror. So yeah, I couldn't get away from the headlights. That definitely didn't help. And yeah, there were a couple times I thought I was going to have to pull over. Because, yeah, oh my gosh, like I said, that was the longest trip of my life. Oh, and I don't get that many migraines anymore. I used to. But that is one of the benefits, side effects, whatever, of a few of the antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds I'm on is that they can curb migraines. And so for me, they definitely have. I do not get migraines much at all. Maybe once a year, if that. And I know some of you are like, oh God, I wish. Because I know many of you suffer, with migraines. They are so, they just really put you out of commission, don't they? All you want to do is climb into a completely dark room where it's completely quiet and you can just bury your head in a pillow or something and not have anybody bug you for the rest of the night. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a fun trip back. So I just collapsed when I got home. Bella was absolutely going crazy because she missed us. So, of course, I had to go out and let her outside potty. And then, yeah, I just collapsed in the chair. Let Bella on me, and, I hadn't even had anything to eat. I was going to stop on the way home and get something to eat. Nope. Food was the last thing on my mind. That just made me more nauseous the more I thought about it. Okay, let's get off that subject. That's a gross subject. Okay, kind of a depressing one, huh? Especially for those of you who do get migraines. I was just bringing up a horrible thoughts, right? As you may see as I'm coloring, my shakiness is getting worse again. I'm debating whether to go back to my neurologist again, because the medication that she had me on did work. I loved that part. It's getting hard for me to even print now, at times. Most of the time, I should say. But the problem with the medication is it makes me so sleepy all day long. And it's hard to function like that. I know some of you probably know exactly what I mean. And who can get anything done then when you want to sleep all day long? So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. What is your opinion? I guess it's maybe better to put up with the shaking. I don't know. I don't know. At least I get some things done during the day. It's just, with writing, and I always had such neat penmanship. I could do cursive so nice and neat. Well, forget the cursive writing. But I could still print neat. Well, forget that too now. If I write anything, even printing, I have to really go slow because I don't know. But yet she tested me for everything and it all looked good. She did the brain scan and everything. She actually found a brain in my head. I know, I said that joke before already. I know. All right, let's zoom out. I think that is enough. We're over an hour and a half. Say what? Isn't that pretty? Like I said, Jade Summer has really neat color palettes to their books. So again, this one is color by number patterns. I'll leave a link in the description down below to this particular book. I'll leave a link to the Taotree markers. Love them, and I know a whole bunch of others. Love, love, love these markers. So I am going to put this back in here. I think I'm going to leave these markers out. I'll take this all out in the living room because I'll be finishing it out on there because heaven knows I'm going to need a lot of desk space for the next 2 videos. So, thank you so much for watching this video, for catching up with me. Again, leave some comments letting me know what you've been doing. I appreciate so much you watching my videos. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button before you leave. Again, leave any questions, comments, or concerns down in the comment section. I love reading through your comments. Hopefully, I'll be getting through the comments so shortly. Again, I apologize. Of course, if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. As of now, I usually am going to try to post a video at least once a day. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. I'll see you in my next video. And as always, happy coloring. Bye, guys.